That's how it always is. There's always something that could have been caught and we haven't caught it because we didn't hit record. And those are the moments that we realize that we're not recording a product. We're just documenting a process. You know?
Yeah, the process documentation a little bit more straight laced, but that the human capture of just normal conversation where the business is
Yeah.
done. Oh man! So you have to verbalize it to the next guy. Hey, what you do? Man, we just talk about the solution. I mean, what do you really talk about though? How'd you do it? Like, I'm gonna document it for you, brother. Next time I'm gonna document it.
Yeah. We should have caught it the first time.
Yeah.
That's
All I know at the end of that half hour, the customer said they're ready to buy. That's all I know.
all I know. Yeah.
I don't know.
That's all I know.
Well,
Yeah.
cool, man.
What's next for IT? In today's economy, technology touches every aspect of the day-to-day operations of business. There has never been more pressure on IT to deliver for our organizations. So what can we expect over the next decade? We need to think differently about how we approach our work to continue to thrive into the future. This requires all of us to be intentional in how we look at our role going forward. Smart IT is an approach to getting the important things done by transforming the way we think, work, and lead. And now, let's disrupt the status quo, simplify the complex, and reduce risk the smart IT way.
I
Man,
just got off the phone with a prospect before I got here. Um, Turns out that they were the decision maker for a couple of locations. Um, and I just ran across them, and because our data wasn't enriched in our Salesforce, you know, it gives us as a company an opportunity to serve them on a higher level, and we didn't miss out on the opportunity just because I just made a random call. I sent them to, well, not, it wasn't random at all. What I do as a BDR is I'll make a list in Salesforce and upload it to our kind of CRM kind of thing, Sales Loft, and then email them, put them in an email cadence that is a automated email that I came up with my RSM and my managers and stuff like that. And the beauty of the BDR role is that you have a say in
yeah,
who you're targeting, how you're speaking to them, et cetera, and they're really trusting us to be ourselves and try to position the closer, which is our,
nice.
the RSM or the account executive, whatever you want to call it, as the expert. So I just get to be curious and
Yeah.
learn, and I just get to have a conversation and say, okay, well, when's a good time to show?
See, so
When's a good time to show you this? This sounds
hey,
like you're a good fit, or at least you need to know. In this case, they are a current customer for one of our products, and we just upgraded the product, turn like three products into a suite.
okay,
And
nice.
when that happens in software, we don't we no longer service the old product, the legacy product. We always move into the the next phase, which is servicing and adding all the new additions to the new platform. So
I love
the
that,
thing
man.
that the line that I came up with in that
Okay.
sense is, well, I'm happy I caught you, because the worst thing that could happen is you are out at dinner with one of your friends who runs in some other place, and you hear it from them and not us,
Oh
and
yeah. Be
that
like how
that
Keenan
could
didn't
go
tell me.
over.
They changed something and Keenan didn't call me. Man, I gotta
Yeah,
talk to him.
that's how it can happen. And I've seen people lose business because of just something as simple as that.
Yeah, 'cause I used to get those emails too with the notifications. Such and such has been deprecated, gonna be turned off at a certain period. We got some new features, blah, 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 blah. Man, you kind of halfway read it, but you're right. Unless someone like talks to you about it, Okay, am I using that feature? Okay, maybe not. I don't care about it. But oh, I am using it. What's the timeline? Okay, what does this mean? So it is nice to talk to
Yeah.
somebody in person to actually figure out what that means.
Yeah, and
And
that's
yeah,
the
go ahead.
role of the BDR. The business development representatives, sales representatives, whatever you want to call it. Our role is really to be the the communication for the industry, the ground base communication, human being talking over the phone via email. I'm sending you information. I'm asking you for time to let my expert come in there and really give you a deep dive. And if that role doesn't exist, a lot of people are scared of AI taking over. There are current platforms that are hailing themselves as the AI BDR or things like that. It's when you're dealing with humans, man,
Yeah.
we want to deal with humans, even if we
Yes.
act like we don't like them or we don't have time for it. We trust a human more to just deliver us information and to schedule time with experts.
You can't beat that. And people gonna be actually putting a premium on that in the future. Like, hey, I'm trying to run from all these AI bots here, man. Let me run into this room here and find out, hey, there's a person over there. Let's go chat. And they're gonna feel so
Yeah.
much better. Yeah. But that's an interesting role though. So it's like you're setting the table, you're positioning the solution potentially, and then you're bringing in that next person to come in and kind of figure out you qualified it. This is like, okay, we
Yeah.
got something here, maybe something that we can progress on and let this other person, because the other person feels more confident, like, okay, it might be something here versus a real cold call, which I know they hate that.
Yeah. And the closer, especially the software, the closer for the deal, we'll say, should not be having cold conversations. They should be having warm conversations, and they should also be having conversations with decision makers so they can cut through the nonsense, let them know this is what, not just what it does, but this is the value you're going to get out of it, out of just having this in your tech suite and having an option on hand. And then not only having that expert in the room will help the business, the sales cycle close faster, but it also let them know like if things go wrong or having questions, that human aspect comes into play again. I got this guy who's
Yeah.
getting paid off this.
Yes.
They better pick up the phone for me and answer answer some of these questions or tell me how do
Yes.
I move this and how do I get this widget to work and that kind of stuff. So I think that's one of the things I go over with my team. My manager loves about me right now is that I see my role not as the expert. My role is to position the
Yeah.
expert and, like you said, qualify the call and the opportunities before they even get to meet each other. I'm the barrier.
Yeah.
So not only do I want to qualify the different opportunities, but I want to disqualify. Like
Yeah.
if you're not a good fit, that's fine. You
Yeah.
you just may not be a good fit right now.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
fine. I don't wanna solve a problem that you don't have. That's
Yeah.
I don't want to do that. I want to solve actual problems. I want to help actual businesses, actual people, and that requires me to make that call, send that email, have
Yeah.
that conversation.
Yeah, that whole qualification process, when it's not there for other companies, maybe it's a startup or maybe a smaller company where just one salesperson has to do it all. And you look at their calendar and it's just crazy. And it's ups and
Hmm.
downs how they feel based off of is this a real cold call? Or you know what, my manager's on top of me. I gotta make X amount of calls per day or sure that I'm taking folks out to lunch. And that can get very frustrating. So I love it when they have that BDR like function in place to filter.
Yeah,
So the other reps saying, I got 10 calls on my calendar this week. I'll feel pretty good. I got a legitimate chance of matching some type of problem that they got with a solution they got, and they potentially have money. And that's the other thing is, man, we love your solution, Keenan. This thing is awesome. And then you ready to move forward? Oh man, I didn't bring my wallet, man. We don't got no money. It's like, oh man, the power of the qualification process. Like, I got a problem. I want to kind of fix it now or in the near future. We'll have some way to actually produce some money to actually pay for it, which is a critical situation. Otherwise,
Yeah.
you have those CRMs like, man, the rep keep pushing this deal out. It's been sitting there for like 18 months. They say, hey, they got the problem. They like our solution. They figured out how to pay for it. Like, what?
Yeah. They forgot one critical piece to this puzzle.
Yeah.
So, and that's where like the next level of the sales team comes in, like the regional the vice president or the president of sales, or you know the CEO, depends on how they got it structured.
Yeah.
They're going to start asking when they're looking at that pipeline, why do you have $50,000
Yeah.
worth of opportunities here, and your closed deals is 2,000,
Yeah.
and it's the
There's
end of
something
the month?
what's going on here.
Are you lying to me?
He said, I talked to these
Yeah.
people. They said they have the problem. They're thinking about
Well, I mean, well, did you ask them, did they
it.
have the budget? Did you
Yeah.
ask them what timeline they were on? Well, did you ask them, are they just gathering information right now, or are they looking to
Yeah.
make an actual change right now?
Yeah.
That's where the regional manager's skill set really kicks in. The closer, we'll just say
Yeah.
closer, the closer skill set really kicks in, because those kinds of questions, and that's one of the reasons why when I make my calls, or when I'm doing my outreach, my prospecting, I'm not really trying to be very feature oriented,
Yeah.
and I just want to talk about your problems. And
Yeah.
I'm not even talking about your problems like I can solve. I'm only talking about your problems because you know they exist and I
Yeah.
know they exist. And
Yes.
if I know they exist and you know they exist, guess who else knows they exist? Your customer.
Yes. Yeah, that's good. I love that
So,
because even if they have start mentioning problems that you can't fix, it might be maybe they got 4 or 5 problems pressing them right now, and maybe your solution address 1 or 2 of them, but you won't know unless you get an opportunity to talk about it and just get it out. Kind of like non-pressure, right? Sometimes salespeople have so much pressure on that the prospect freezes up or like, yeah, you guys can't really help me. But if you let them talk, okay, what slowness, okay, it takes you a long time to get this done. You're looking for productivity, looking for cost cut. What is it? What's the problem that you're facing? If you let them get all those issues out on the table, and you can be like, okay, I found one. Okay, I got this one. Okay, 5 problems identified. We can help with 2 of those. Okay, we got success. Now, what happens if they
mhm.
mention 5 problems, Keenan, and you like, our solution can't help with any of those 5?
Then I'll be honest with them. This doesn't look like we can help you out. What our solution does help you with
Yeah,
is these things.
yeah,
So it looks like you're doing great on that front. And this is where having a good referral book comes into play,
okay,
because if it's like your plumber,
yeah,
there's I don't think any plumber does all plumbing work.
yeah,
There's always there's a guy who does certain parts of the piping. They may only do interior stuff, but
yeah,
anything outside of the house, you got to call this guy. Or I might do stuff like in the kitchen and in the bathroom and things like that. But if it's under the house or above the house, you got to call this guy.
yeah. I like that. Yeah,
Um, the if your referral network, and as you can, I'm sure you realize this as well, Will, software nowadays more than ever are trying to bundle solutions together and make like one stop
yeah,
shops,
yeah,
because of that, because they want to
yeah,
be able to refer business
yeah,
to themselves. It's like, oh, we
He said,
can't fix. I can't fix those problems, but my guy in this department who runs this solution that's under
yeah.
our belt, they can fix that problem. You know,
But with
so
software, I love it because you can make that call as soon as you finish the sales call. You go call the product team
yeah,
and say, hey, by the way, can you guys help out with this? Hey, I can tell my prospect this is on the roadmap. We can get it to them in 8 months. What do you think?
that's huge actually.
Yeah,
Which is real. You know,
yeah,
that's the beauty of software because we're not selling a tangible product that is non-changing.
yeah,
Software is ever changing, it's ever upgrading and adaptable, and the whole purpose of it is to let's be honest. Every piece of software is the only reason it exists is because it makes people's lives easier.
yeah,
It saves them time. It helps them be more productive, and it makes them more money.
yeah,
That's it.
yeah.
And how we
And
apply that is completely up to the product team to frame it, you know, in whatever the interface they use and whatever the UX looks like and how the features are stacked against each other. But it's all based off those categories. You know, if it's going to be easier to use than your current process, then I think that's worth some money. If it's
yeah,
gonna save me some time in a time in like most industries, time is one of the biggest barriers to added revenue. How much time does it take me to have a sales call, to shoot a podcast, to lay bricks on, you know, to build a house? If you can save me time on that, I will pay you more money. You
yeah,
know, can I keep my team more like can I keep them up to date and productive? If I can keep my team productive without making me feel like the
yeah,
the worst boss ever and I'm jumping
yeah.
down their throat, but it's like it's easier for them to be productive and not feel like they're being overworked.
It's
I'm
golden.
paying for that too, you know.
Yeah,
And then of course I can make more money off of it with this just adding this to my process, then that's also worth money, you know. So
yeah. And that points out the criticality of the feedback from the sales team, talking to real people, giving that feedback to the product team. Because you heard say over the last 6 weeks, this is the fifth person who came to us asking about this one particular feature that we don't have. Then it's like, okay, maybe we need to invest, put some development time. Let's go build this feature. But if the sales team doesn't talk to the product team, they might not know. You know, sometimes the product team, they're locked in the lab, they're pushing out what they think. They market once. But if you're getting this valuable feedback, like, you know what, man, some of our competitors added this feature last week or last quarter. We keep hearing about it. Okay, that's a signal. Or sometimes it's
yeah,
like, you know what, Keenan said, you know what, this is $1 million deal. Our prospect said we can solve this problem with this feature. We're willing to put $1 million. Versus, yeah, this customer kind of small. They're looking to buy like 10,000. Product team like, yeah, come back later, man. Don't be bringing me a feature for 10,000. You bring a half million, $1 million. That's a whole different story. So
yeah,
that communication is huge, man. I'm like, man. So every no's right. So even a no, okay, not interested. Okay, take my notes, pass it up. They say our competitors that they like the GUI better, or they like the integration better, the setup better. You know, jot that down, bring it back to the product team. Say, okay, we getting all this. We can make it better. It's like you said before, it's code, right? Developers can improve it, change it. You don't like the way the buttons are, we'll change the layout. I mean, that's really, really powerful. So sometimes it's not the sales problem, it's a product problem. It's like our product just doesn't do what they want. So CEO, hey, you know who to go talk to, right? Sales
yeah.
and marketing doing what they should be doing. So it's like you got to make sure the right team is being pinged for like, okay, how come we're not hitting our numbers?
And that's one of the most important parts of a role that is like a BDR or an account manager or like a customer success manager, customer experience manager, things like
Yeah.
that. You're speaking to your client, your prospect, or your customer, not as the expert, but as a person who is there to just gather information and help them out with
Yeah.
updating some process. I think you have a problem. Is this your problem?
Yeah.
Or let me know your problem. And if we can't solve it, because like you said, this button doesn't do this, or even simpler, the button's the wrong color.
Yeah. Yeah.
We've
What?
all seen it. You
Yeah.
know, branding matters. Branding matters. The button's the wrong color. That's something we need to be able to immediately communicate back to the product team, because more than ever, um, product team has nothing to do with customer acquisition at all.
Yes. Yeah.
So they're most of the time so far removed from what actual people who are paying for this thing feel, and how they use it. Because I mean, it's software. Like people, one of my managers said this earlier this week. He was like, "It's software, man. People have been jailbreaking phones since
Yeah.
phones have been
Yeah.
a thing. These cell phones was a
Yeah.
thing. They're gonna try to find ways to get around, and they're gonna find ways to make it their own. So
Yeah.
we should be making it their own for
Yeah.
them.
I've even
Finding
seen
those ways
situations.
for them.
Yeah, yeah. I've even seen situations not the color button. It's like the old version had the button say done, and now you got to say confirm. It's like, oh, what's the big deal? Done, confirm, okay. It's like, or it used to pop up at the end and say we're done or completed. And all of a sudden it's changed, or the end user might say we don't like it that way. So it's like, got to have that feedback. Otherwise, if your
Yeah,
product team is like, this the way it's going to be, we did our research and it's just the way it should be. It's more efficient. It's like, to make a difference. What are the bulk of your customers asking about or complaining about? So you got to make sure they listen. In some cases, that communication is broken between the sales team and product, and they're making a lot of assumptions. And then the marketing team come in is like, this is what the product team told us. We're going to push it out there. And then you, Keenan, got to get on the phone and like, yeah, Keenan, I was just on your website and it said it could do this, this, and this. And hopefully it matches up with what you know, because you got to tell them like, well, let me clarify that.
yeah, yeah. And that's the thing. Is like I have a saying that goes like this: believe your own BS, especially when you're talking to prospects, because more than ever, product will send out a new solution that isn't fully fleshed out. And the only reason they will do that is because people above them is like, it's good enough, let's sell it. Let's get
Yeah,
people on board. Or even deeper and smarter, let's find our first case studies so we can figure out how things go well, how things can be improved. And if we don't sell it to somebody,
yeah,
then we'll never know. We got to sell it to actual customers, and then it's on the BDR, the sales guys, to go out into the world, into the market, and find those case studies, find those first couple clients who are going to come be onboarded and be willing to be a part of the family on the early stage. Those
yeah,
those guys
yeah,
win. The people who are early adapters, they win. And more than ever in software, we see we see the winners and losers as based off longevity, right? You let me know if I'm wrong on that, because I believe the winners and losers in the software space are the ones that stick in there for years on end. They adapt, they change, they make some mistakes, they bring a product to the market, it didn't work, they didn't give up, they brought it back with the new interface, and
yeah,
all they needed to change was how it looked. Or they add a little bit of more code and now the integrations work a little bit better.
yeah,
Or they add some AI to it, and just generative AI. People have been adding just generative
Yes.
text AI, and that has been immensely elevating software. Just like it's the same thing. All I did
Yeah.
was kind of add Chat GPT in the
Yeah.
background.
Yeah. All of a sudden that user experience seems better for some reason. It's like, wow.
Yeah, yeah. I added a little bit more to my chatbot. I had a chatbot already,
Yeah.
but it was just a static image. It wasn't like a cartoonish based image that looks like a real person and their mouth moves when 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 you're talking to it, and they got a little
Yeah.
bit more realistic
Yeah.
and empathetic responses.
And they got it faster for some
Sometimes
reason. Yeah. Yeah.
it got faster, you know. Well, faster is always the
The perception. Yeah.
like we need that. We need that. We live in such an age that fast is a big marker for success. How fast can the software go? How quick can we get a response? It matters a lot.
Yeah. But you brought up something very interesting about the, developing those customers who become loyal and stay with you year over year. That kind of get into the whole marketing and brand. Like we like this brand because they keep updating, getting better. They take our feedback over and over again. We love that. So
Mm.
sometimes if the product development cycle go off weird or it's too slow to respond, then all of a sudden you start to see people start to do that shopping, and they should know your competitor is like getting some hits, like, and it's like, hey, this guy not responding like he used to. I usually check in every 3 months with him, try to take him out to lunch. He's not responding, and 6 months later find out, oh yeah, Keenan, we're not going to be renewing. Like what? Those signals like something's wrong here. The response are slower. They're not going out to lunch. Okay, this guy's on my competitor's website. Okay, let me check with the product. Is something wrong with our roadmap? The feedback? Yeah, go ahead.
That part right there, the signs,
Yeah,
like you said, the signs, the writing on the wall, as one would call it. You know, my customer, and a big part of the writing on the wall that we miss as um, providers, developers, um, and at its base, you know, as sales guys, as the BDRs and the closers, we're missing though that writing on the wall when we don't follow up with the people who we've closed deals with and ask how things are going, ask for more business, ask
yeah,
for referrals, take them to lunch, show up in person. Um, I mean, think about it. Software, the sales process for software is the same sales process for Cutco knives.
yeah,
I go and knock on a door
yeah,
and I pitch you this product and show you that it can cut through
yeah,
things a lot easier and cleaner than the other knives, than the other
yeah,
software, right?
yeah,
It hasn't changed. So if I knock on a dude's door and I say, Mr. Reed, this software is gonna help you save time, money, and while it's helping you save time and money, it's gonna give you back that time to put into more things that make you more money.
yeah,
And you say, yes, Mr. Coke, I like that. Let's do
yeah,
business. We shake hands, you sign the deal, you give me the card, and I don't come back and say,
yeah,
Mr. Reed, we have had you as a customer for
yeah,
3 months. How's things going? If I don't do that, say things are going well. Things are going great.
yeah,
Perfect. They're perfect. But my the guy down the streets
yeah,
who makes the same type of product comes
yeah,
in and he takes you to lunch
yeah,
and he shows you that we not only can do the same thing that Mr. Coke company has done down the street, but we added this little feature too. And I'll come take you to lunch every
oh
once in
yeah,
a while. You know, people, people buy
yeah,
even in business emotionally. and they buy from people they like. Even
Yes.
if the product works and it makes sense and it saves them money and time and all those that four quadrants that I have first went all over. Even if it hits all those, the last one is, do I like the person?
Yes.
Do I like the brand? Can I resonate and relate to the person and the brand? So the writing on the wall is when we take out that last piece of the
Yeah.
human element, you start losing customers like that.
Yeah. Yeah. Because your competitor went and told them about that cutting board to go with that knife. And by the way, we get that to you free. After you get that, then we add a new book on how to cut your steak even better. And that's only X
Oh
amount of money.
man,
And next thing you know, they got a whole kitchen set in there. And you come back 6 months later, you get back around to them. So how's it going? Did that knife work? Yeah, cut my steak's fantastic. You ready to find out? We got some new products here. We got a cutting voice, and I'm not interested. What happened? Dude, we got the entire kitchen set already, man. Your competitor is in. We appreciate your time, though. Like, oh, wow.
that's it.
How did
That's
that
how it
happen?
happens.
They scooped us. Yeah.
That's how it happens. That is how it happens. The customer, they can like you to death. They could spend money with you for years, but I mean, Apple is a great example of this. This Apple is a great brand. The software may not be as like it may not be as technologically good as an Android software, but people buy into the brand because they give them so much brand identity to the point where when you see a different text message come in, you recognize
Yeah.
that this is not an Apple product. I'm not even going to give this person the level of respect that I give my Apple guy, my friends who use Apple phones. And even them, they're losing customers.
Yeah. Because before the brand was, it's the money. We don't care about spending more because the brand. But if things get tight,
Hmm.
whoa, 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 the dollars are short. I mean, I got to watch it. I love your brand. I like you. The product works, but do I need to cut 20%? I don't have that much money. And that's when your other competitor come by and say, it's 20% cheaper. And you're like, I'm going to go ahead and do it this time.
Yeah,
Then maybe next
20%
time.
cheaper, integrates with everything. Um, you can customize it, you can make it your own, and guess what? We're gonna ask you how you're doing. We're gonna give you free stuff. It's a no brainer.
Yeah.
But the thing that makes people loyal are those early adopters. And if you take care of your early adopters, the people who grew up on I remember I had one of those I can't remember what it was
Yeah.
called. You'll probably know better than me, but it
Yeah.
was the Mac computer that was like had the colorful gel type of top. It was like
All the different colors you can get it in.
had the handle on the top. We had one of those when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Um, but we went to HP's because this was even before, mind you,
Yeah.
I'm dating myself. This is even before cell phones was a thing, right?
Ooh, yeah.
We went to HP's
Yeah.
because they were more affordable. All the schools had them, or it was like Dell and HP. All the schools had them. They were more affordable. And my mom, at the time, she worked for Abbott Laboratories and
Okay.
Illinois. That's what she worked with as well. The Mac was just too complicated. Nothing worked with it. The floppy, I'm like every it was like an
Yeah.
all-in-one kind of thing. Like
Yeah.
it just didn't seem right,
Yeah.
because every other computer had a tower and it had all the stuff. It was a set. It made sense for you to have that giant desk that we used to
Yes.
have.
Oh,
So
man.
we ended up the whole family. We ended up going over to um the Dell and HP stuff, and my little brother and sister, they're about to turn 30 next year, right? They are not those people. They are Apple people to death. That's because in their time,
Yeah.
everybody, like, the schools had Apple, the schools had Macs, and they had the iPads, and iPhones were a thing their whole life. They grew up on the internet. They don't know what dial up is. So that brand identity stuck in to the point where they feel like they were early adopters, and there's no point in getting a more affordable or different product, even if it was more affordable and it's better. Who cares? Like, that's not who I am.
Yeah. What's the interesting thing that can always got like two sides of the same coin? Because one thing is when you get your customers and they're happy, you have to defend against competitors trying all these new different things to pull them away. But you got to maintain
Hmm.
that year over year after year, right? Because with the software, it's always a renewal. They get updates, upgrades, you get upsell. So it's a constant motion to have that sales team in the field, constantly in contact to figure out, like looking for those signals, happy, nothing going on. And then making sure marketing is sending out the right message, reinforces brand, and then making sure the product team is up on their game. Could turn out to be maybe there's been some shift in the organization, and maybe your support team is having some troubles. You could lose that customer on just support. It's like, they're
Yeah.
taking too long to respond. So everything else is working okay, but Keenan, man, I sent the support ticket in and they didn't get back to me in a certain period of time. So now all of a sudden it's like, okay, as a business, it takes the entire team working together to make sure every time you call into the new person, you can have some success. But also to that existing person, 5 years in, product's still great, but support's kind of slipping, or maybe it's the product roadmap. Yeah, you got missing something out there. So it's like you got to get up every morning, man, to go hunt, to go win. I think sometimes companies
Yeah.
get a little relaxed. Like, you know what, man, we're doing good. We don't need as many BDRs. You know what? We're going to try AI model instead. Or you know what? Product team, we're going to outsource this overseas to product development. Or you know what? Marketing, we're going to cut marketing. So when the executives start to mess around with the winning formula, at least for now, right? Or they slow to respond to competitive forces, then all of a sudden it makes your job even harder because you're calling around and people are like, yeah, man, I got this problem, but sorry, man, we missed you by a couple of weeks, man. We already got something in place, or you know what,
Yeah.
we're not gonna renew this year because X, Y, Z. So just talk about all those
They
different
have they
things.
have better support. Like you said, like, we've all seen it. And let me ask you what your idea is on this. Who's more important to the customer, the sales team or the support team?
Support and the right support because you could have like low level support who take care of the technical issues, but that human touch from a manager who got the experience, who can get on the phone or do that follow up email and have enough details. Hey, this is the way you guys use an interface. We recommend this. We fix the issue, blah, blah, blah. It has to be high level because
Yeah.
the day you close the deal, you're still trying to maintain that customer after that period. You're working on the renewal to the next year. You're working on upsells. And it's a constant process. So when people shift that support model and say, yeah, we don't need as many tier 3 people maybe, or we're going to automate tier 1 with AI bots. Like the AI bot better be good because that might be just enough to piss people off. Like, hey man, I used to
Yeah.
call this guy and now on your website, I got to go to a virtual chat bot. Then I got to go to a phone system. And it takes me 20 minutes to get to a human who might get back to me next tomorrow. That's a problem.
Yeah. And we're seeing a lot of that. And there's a big lack of communication across those teams, where, because it's like any other company, as you grow and you make more revenue and you build bigger teams, departments become siloed off and
Yeah.
they only talk inner intercommunication to themselves, and
Yeah.
there's no intercommunication across different departments. And we run into the situation like a BDR hears something like that. Well, man, I you calling me to sell me some other product that you guys have, but I put in a support ticket last week. I haven't heard from you guys. What do you want from me, man? Are you gonna fix my problem, sir?
Yeah.
No, I'm here to sell you another problem.
I'm trying to get more money out of
uh,
you right now.
then I'll have somebody reach out,
Yeah.
but there's such a need for that intercommunication to be the most important piece, because from my perspective, and I talk about this to the folks who I consult, the company I work for, my peers, everybody. Once you get the sale and you hand it off,
Yeah.
it's not done. Don't
Yeah.
just finish it there. Give them time to let the implementation team kick in, let the customer service team kick in, and then go back as their sales manager, ask them how it's doing, knowing that it's
Yeah.
going great. Go when you know it's going great. Then
Yeah.
ask them for more business. Ask them for a referral. Ask them for some feedback. You know, let me get some a case study out of you. Can I shoot a quick video or something? Can you write me a reference or give me a Google review or
Yeah.
something like that? Do that while it's good. Get them in the habit of having positive reinforcement for you, so you can continue the sales across their network.
Yeah.
We're not gonna, like I said, it's just like going door to door and selling Cutco knives.
Yeah.
Those people who were successful at selling Cutco
Yeah.
knives were not just random door knockers. Those people were eating off referrals.
Oh yeah.
Go to the events, do the conferences, throw your events, make things seem like a ecosystem
Yeah.
where I get this product solves a problem. They create another product. I get that product. It solves another problem. We're making money. If something breaks in the product, they fix the product. They solve my problem that got fixed, that needed to be fixed, that already was working. They fixed it somehow. Um, Google Chrome comes out with another Chrome
Yeah.
80,000 comes out.
Yeah.
So now everything needs to be updated on the browsers. They figure out how to integrate with the browser better. They have some new API function that comes out for some tool that we need to make this one critical thing happen in our
Yeah.
business. And they work with that company. They work with this company to make sure everything works in a collaborative space. And guess what? The whole time, my sales manager has been working for this company for 10 years, for 5 years.
Yeah.
And I hear from them, if not every month, every other month. When
Nice.
they're in town, they stop in, they drop our team off donuts.
Yeah.
You know, those guys who are doing that, they're making the big bucks.
They're making the money, man. They're hitting their numbers.
They're hitting their numbers, man.
And so what's your
They're
secret,
hitting their
man?
numbers.
It's also interesting you mentioned about some of the integration work. Because sometimes it doesn't have to be a feature in some of our core product, but it's an integration piece. And then we come across enough people who said they're having issues with it, but maybe we partner with another company, or maybe we offer some additional services to help you with that integration. Kind of like, you know what, this customer's going to struggle with that, man. They got to throw an API key in. They got to map some fields here. They're not going to be able to do it themselves. We got the experience. Our larger customers have the in-house tech staff to do it. These smaller ones don't do it. You know what? Either we're going to hire a couple extra people to do a new service that we brand it, or we'll have a partner do it. But it's that constant communication and feedback around what's going to make this customer successful with implementing our solution. Because our solution
There it
success
is.
depends on this integration, and we don't have our hand in that integration. And they're going to say, they're going to be calling our support line, this thing doesn't work. Well, it's not our product problem. It's the the third party with the API call. Well, can you help me? Well, that's not really us. But hey, you guys been around for 20 years. Y'all are these customers. They doing this integration too. You said, you mean you didn't come across it, come up with some solutions and proactively talked about that in the initial implementation? Because you know they're going to hit
Yeah.
that milestone of implementation. Okay, they're going to run into some of the issues right here. We know this. We're ready. We got the guide. We got a blog. Hey, one of our engineers did a video. It's on our website. The customer don't know it like off the hand, but they're like, oh man, that's convenient, man. Look at this website. And just as he's looking at the website with the video, Keenan calls. How you doing, man? Yeah, Keenan, man, I was just about to do this integration. And I walked to your engineer on this video. This is cool, man. You know what? I got time for lunch, man. Because he lays it out for me. It's like
That's
total
where and
all
that's
in.
where the BDR comes in, Will. The BDR gets the new hotness. They got the new update. We get to our intersection is in between like I said, the problem and the solution, but we're just having conversations in the middle. Hey, this is what we have now. I don't think you guys have seen it or we haven't had an opportunity to make it easy for you to understand how we can help solve this problem. Not to say you're doing anything wrong in your current process, but I think we can maybe save you some time. We can make things a lot easier.
Yeah,
And we save your time, make things easier, you make more money. That's the
yeah,
equation, right?
yes.
you
Upselling is
know?
much easier than the new sale. That's why you just
Yeah.
met. So
Yeah. You cross sell the things that you already have, and like you said, and work with some third parties if you can to either if you don't want to or don't have the capability to build the solution, partner.
yes, make some more money through the partnership. As opposed to
Yeah.
some people like, yeah, well, you'll figure it out on your own. And they go somewhere else. And that other person they find can do what you do plus more. Ooh, dangerous spot, dangerous spot. You want to be ahead of that. We already identified the partner. We worked out the paperwork. We're getting a fee on the back end, and our customers still happy. And we didn't have to make the investment to bring that capability in-house. But maybe we'll do it in the future. You get that flexibility as a business to figure out where you want to do it. Just because you got that frontline exposure to what the customer's
Yeah.
thinking, feeling, and that's huge, man. That's huge.
That's huge. I think and like I said, that piece when all those pieces on the higher end
Yeah,
is working according to that type of model,
yeah,
that's where the money is for
man,
the sales team. The sales team gets to go out into the market and say, "Hey, you spoke, we listened.
yeah,
You said you needed this new function. You said you needed the button to be red.
yeah,
uh, when can we show it to you? When
yeah,
can we
yeah,
show it to you? My guy's going to be in the area
yeah,
in 2 weeks. I'm going to send him over there. All right.
yeah.
And I just need you to give him 15 minutes of your time, 20 minutes of your time, you know? And that's the other piece is like that time that we need. We got to remember in software, we're selling to businesses less likely than ever. Like we don't need a BDR and sales manager and account manager and uh, product team, implementation team for B2C products or
Right.
services.
Yeah.
Any business that has that kind of structure, you are selling enterprise. You are selling to businesses, right? Am I wrong on that?
I think you're right. It could be that one person you're initially talking to, and there's 20 people behind them that's all involved in that buying process.
They don't they don't have the time to be wasted on a million demos, right? So the better we get at qualifying the person who needs to see the demo, who can make the decision. So
Yeah.
that's the same thing. Who needs to see it, who
Yes.
also can make the decision.
Yes. The worst thing is to be demoing to the person signing the check and they have no interest in going into interface. And they're like, why am I on this call? Or you got the final call and the person who got the check isn't on the call. So like you need to know up front, you need to figure out the landscape. Okay, I'm talking to the first person, he got the problem. But then he has a colleague who's going to do the implementation on their side. There's another person who has to do compliance, and that third person maybe can cut the check. You need to map that out and see how many touch points do we need, and how can we make this as short as possible to make this buying experience quick and efficient, so we don't waste time and fail. It's going to be 3, 4, 5 months. Like, let's find out early: is it going to be a yes or a no? Technical
Yeah.
win, product fit, the numbers work out. Let's make this as quick as possible. Because when you get like 4 or 5 people involved on their side, the first person you talk to got to coordinate that on their side. They're like, oh man, I love the solution, but it's going to take forever, man, to go through my org. And it's like, we already
Yeah,
thought
because
about it.
I gotta show my boss, and you know, you're lucky if your boss is the guy who signs the deal
Yeah,
and says yes or no to it. Most of the time it's not. Like there's your boss either has another boss, or especially in business, the person who actually is implementing and using the product a lot of the times is not the person who signs off on the product.
yeah,
And then a lot of the times that person who signs off on the product needs to have all of the players involved so he
yeah,
can understand the real needs. He or she or they can understand the real needs and the real cost of it is and what the real value of it is. And then of course, what's that relationship gonna look like?
yeah,
If I go open up another location, are you gonna are you a
yeah,
guy that I'm gonna take with me
yeah,
to that location as well? If I don't like you, I'll just go to
yeah,
your. I don't care if the solution is a little bit worse. I
yeah,
don't like you.
yeah. Key point, yeah. And then
Yeah.
and then when you
So,
get to the final meeting, make sure you know the personality of the person writing the check. Can they just know they got one pain problem? They want to hear about that one feature and hit a number. And then you getting all excited because the guy nodding his head and you're looking at the clock like, oh, I got 15 more minutes. You know what? I'm going to tell that CFO about these other 5 features because they so technically
ooh,
cool. He's like, whoa, dude, you won the deal. CFO's ready to sign. And you mentioned 4 other things. He's like, well, that's a lot of extra features. And you're looking at
yeah,
everybody
we're not
around
going to
them.
use
So
all that. No,
what is it? And he
can
said,
I?
halt.
The worst thing they could do, worst
Yeah,
thing that they can do. Well, that's the worst thing that you can do as a
yeah,
salesperson is start talking about stuff that comes with it that they're already going to be paying for that they're not going to use anyway.
yeah,
Just let them have it. That's just free stuff that comes with it. And they don't need to even know about that until it's time to use it when they give you a
yeah,
call like, hey, what's this thing?
yeah,
But you're going to shoot yourself in the foot. Like
yeah,
you said, CFO's there. He's ready to sign the deal. You know, everybody's drinking whiskey. Uh, we're about to do the toast. And you're like, and it also does this and this. And then CFO's like, well, if I take all these things off, can I pay less?
yes, yes. There we go. You found it right there. This is why this number is so expensive. We don't need all this extra stuff.
I don't need all this.
Yeah, let's
I just wanted
reevaluate this.
this.
Yeah,
Oh no, Mr. CFO, all those things just come with the product, but I just need this.
yes.
I don't think you're
Shot
hearing
yourself in
me.
the
All right,
foot.
let's have another meeting.
Yeah. Lost that
How
deal.
we can roll back some of these features and you can
Yeah,
just give me the price of how much just this would cost. And
yeah,
that's not how your software is built.
yeah,
Now you lose the deal because you can't offer them a solution that just does exactly what they need. Nobody's ever going to use all the
yeah.
features of the thing.
Just a
That's why, like I
handful.
said earlier in our conversation, I don't hit on the features.
Yeah,
I'm having a conversation. I'm going to talk about a few things. I'm going to talk about how easy it is to use, how much time you're going to get back, how much productivity your team will gain from it, and how much money that you potentially can make from it. All the things that it actually does and how it actually works.
yeah.
My implementation team will talk
Yeah,
about
we'll
that
figure that
when we
later.
sign the deal.
Yes, yes. We'll get to that later. And then to make sure
Yeah,
that
like
the technical person on their side don't derail you. Because maybe you didn't add the extra features, but maybe the engineer on their side next to the CFO said, yeah, and by the way, that integration, blah, 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 blah. and it tricks you into thinking, yeah, I'm gonna impress this engineer. That's sometimes how you get off, and then you lose the check writer. Like, oh no, but I want to make sure we stay focused here. But I'll send you something to email later for that to answer those questions. And then here's the value prop. Blah blah blah. Let's go
The
sign.
best sales managers that I've had have done exactly that right there, William. They have done exactly that. That's a great question. I'll email after our demo, because the demo should be a great overview of what the product looks like, what the service looks like, how you would use it, who would use it, how you would get the reporting and the value of it. But those super technical
Yeah,
questions, they're good questions and they will be answered, but now's not the time. Right now we're going to talk about the value, because what my BDR has done has lessened the sales cycle, and they've gotten the engineer on it. They've
yeah,
gotten the guy on the team who is the the floor manager who's going to be overseeing all the people who actually would be using the software. Then they
yeah,
got the finance guy or the CEO all on the same call to lessen the sales cycle.
yeah.
Sales cycles here when I only got the floor manager. Sales cycle here when I got the floor manager and the engineer. Sales cycle here when I got all of them on the same call.
Time to close.
So
Let's go.
all I gotta do is give you the new hotness, and
Yes.
I make sure that you understand the value you're getting out of this, how much time you're gonna save, how much money you potentially make, and we'll show you how we as an organization will
Yeah,
be there holding your hand the whole time, because
very
we
good.
want to earn your business year over year, and we want your friends to come join the family, and we don't want to lose your business, so we're gonna earn it every single month.
Joe, loving it, man. Almost took my checkbook out, man. Like shit. I'm gonna go buy some of this. Can I get the core package, Keenan? You said I'm gonna get a
I'm selling.
discount if I sign this week. I get 10% off, right?
Look, we have a good, better, best option, and that better,
Yeah.
you know, in my opinion, it's better than the best, because you can start right now. It's not 10% off; it's 10% extra, but trust me, you'll enjoy it.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll grow together. Let's just get
We'll
started.
grow together.
Yes. I
Well, it's
love
all a
that.
conversation. It's very similar to this. And I think that the BDR role really encompasses the whole, like, not just the life of the product
Yeah.
and the feeling of the product, but the life cycle of the relationship. You know, when I first started this conversation with my BDR, who called me randomly, he'd been emailing me for 2 months, and he finally got a hold of me. Uh,
He was
he
persistent.
just he was persistent. He was nice. He asked me some good questions. He respected my time, and he made sure that the person who was demoing the product or the service knew who I was and what needs I had before we had the call. So when they came into the office, or they hopped on a Zoom call or something like that. Before that, everybody was well acquainted, and we got right to business, and they answered all of my questions. The questions that were really technical, they sent me a follow-up email with
Oof.
more
Nice.
people on their team
Nice.
CC'd on there answering those questions, and like, this is how you do this very specific thing that
Yeah.
nobody's ever going to do except
Yeah.
you,
Yeah.
but we can do it.
I love it, man.
Yeah, that BDR role really sets the tone for how the company is going to um, approach the entire life cycle of the business with each other.
I love that, man.
Well, right now, man, I'm selling automotive software, and I've been officially at the company I worked for a year. But before that, like I said, I did a lot of consulting work with just business development in general for small businesses and not just in the tech space, but in all kinds of industries. But out here in Tulsa, Oklahoma, there's a large emphasis on building new tech solutions. And
uh,
like we say many of times in this conversation, there's no difference than going door to door and selling
yeah,
Cutco knives.
there you
The
go.
only thing is your product or solution is online. It's on a computer. It's on a phone. It's glasses
There you
that
go.
that have cameras in it and
Yeah,
headphones. They're headphones. It's a piece of hardware that has some kind of it's a piece of hardware or software that is a product to make people's lives easier, save them more time, help them be productive, or make more money. That's all any of these products ever will be.
yeah.
We could talk about this kind of stuff forever, but I will say this. I think the biggest thing that we haven't covered is the type of person who could be in software sales as a entry level BDR role, and I didn't have to take a entry level BDR role. I did it on purpose because I wanted to get out of the entrepreneur mindset of I gotta find these different solutions and I gotta be adaptable and changeable, which you do have to be as a BDR. But I really want to get into the I have to be a better communicator mindset.
Oh, okay.
And in order to make money as a salesperson, as a BDR, SDR, whatever you want to call it, you have to be a better communicator at its core. And communication and as a BDR role is different than communication as a entrepreneur or a business owner or a consultant. A lot of that stuff is not just verbal, it's nonverbal, it's physical, it's spiritual, it's mental, it's all there's a lot of different ways you can communicate things. Whereas the BDR role, it's verbal communication. And then once you go up another
Yeah.
level, it's physical, it's in person. And then when you add more tasks or more opportunities, you got to learn how to write a better email. You got to learn how to shoot a better video. You got to learn how to communicate internally with people who are on your same wavelength, people who are direct managers or supervisors, indirect managers or supervisors. You have to learn how to communicate with people in different ways and be able to what they like to call code switch. I like to
Yeah.
call being a
There you
chameleon,
go. Yeah.
and learning how to speak to people where they are, how they need to be spoken to persuade them to do a thing that helps both of you.
Oh,
If it
I
doesn't
like
help
that.
you, then I won't. I am doing you an injustice and myself an injustice if I try to get you to buy the thing that I have. If it doesn't help you, I want to I wish we had a better word for it, but
Yeah.
I want to disqualify you from the opportunity because it's not something that is actually going to help you. You either already do it well or you're just not a great fit for the budget or something like that. And that's not to say that you're evil or wrong or any of the negative connotations we put it on,
Okay.
but it's just not a good fit right now. And that doesn't mean that's going to be forever. So I'm always going to be here when you're ready.
I love that, man. That's powerful. And that, a lot of people need to hear that.
I'll tell you that the type of person that is not like you don't need a master's degree in science, information technology, or
Yeah.
you need to be the person who, like I just said, who just wants to communicate well. That's it.
I love it.
You don't need a degree. You don't need to be, uh, you don't need a certificate. You just want to communicate well and you enjoy that. And if you enjoy communication, you want to communicate well, you want to work in the industry, best way to get in. BDR.
I love it.
Yeah, that's it.
Thanks for joining another episode of the Smart IT Podcast, where we explore what's next for IT and disrupt the status quo, simplify the complex, and reduce risk together. If you like what you hear, please like, subscribe, and leave your comments. And for more Smart IT wisdom, check out my website at williamreed.info.